Hello. Well, I decided to do a video this time instead of typing this up because, well, one, I need to kind of dial in some of this equipment I got. Two, I need to kind of learn a little bit of my editing software a little bit better. So I thought this would be a good little experiment to try this out on. So here's this problem that I'm running into. My test lab that I have set up on Hyper-V on my local computer is having issues. Right now, AD is not working. For whatever reason, the domain controller cannot talk to itself. That's a problem. It makes my test lab pretty much unusable. So what I'm going to do is just run through how I set up my test lab using a little thing called PS-Autolab. It can be found on Jason Helmick's GitHub page. It does note on there that this is the last version of it and that they're going to transition to something else. So until that time comes, you can go ahead and use PS-Autolab. Now, the beautiful thing about PS-Autolab is it does everything for you. Everything. And that includes downloading the ISOs for you. So you don't have to go out to Microsoft's site, download the ISOs, and get everything set up and everything. You just install the module. Once it's installed, it actually creates a little folder for you to do everything. So the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you're set up in an admin shell. So if you're not in that by normal, which you shouldn't, you're going to go ahead and need to do that. So let me just go ahead and jump into one of these here. All right, now that I'm in an admin shell here, I need to change into the directory that it creates. And it's going to create AutoLab directory on your C drive. And in there, there's a configurations folder. We go in there and you'll see all the configurations are pre-built in to the module. The one that I use is POC multi-role. POC multi-role comes with a domain controller, server 16 core install, just a standard server 2016 core install server, and a Windows 10 box. It also comes with a Nano box, but I really don't use it for anything. If you use Nano, go for it. But that's the one this is the one I use personally. So the first thing I need to do, since my lab is currently up and running, is I need to go ahead and wipe my lab. And so this is going to run here. When this gets done running, I will come back. This shouldn't take too long, hopefully. As you can see here, my profile has finished setting up. My test lab is now ready for use. As you saw on the screen, there was a bunch of errors that popped up on the screen there, and that is normal. you will see those errors. And actually, there's a message saying that there will be errors while the tests are finishing setting up. This is done through PESR testing while it's waiting for DSC to finish configuring. So if I scroll up here, you saw that red kind of going up there. But if you see here on the screen, these are the PESR tests that were run and showing what all the statuses are. If any of these are red, then there's worries that I have. But as long as everything is green here, I'm not worried. That means my test environment tested out properly. PESR is a whole other topic for another time, but I know that my lab is set up, ready to go. The domain's ready. I can log in. That's wonderful. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring my window over and connect in to my test lab. Now, the one thing that you should be aware of that is not fully documented, at least easily, is that the password for all the accounts in this test environment is capital P at SSW0RD. This is a little small here. Let me, I'm going to resize this here 1 second, reconnect in, and 1 second here. Hyper-V just takes a second sometimes, especially with everything running. All right, and here's my window. That's better. All right, so I'm logged in. I'm just going to go ahead and drop into PowerShell here. And now that I'm in PowerShell, I'm going to go ahead and try to get the list of users on this domain. And as you can see here, there's my users. That means my domain is back up and running. I am in a 100% better situation than I was previous to this happening. So that's how you build a domain with PS-Autolab. It's pretty simple, not that hard. And honestly, if you have a machine that can run it, there's no excuse not to have a test lab that you can run. At most, you need the domain controller at most for you to run your stuff. If you have that, you're great. Your life is going to be simpler because now you're not testing in production. You have something that can be destroyed and rebuilt at will with just a few moments notice. So test this out. And, I hope this is helpful for some of you. Again, this is just me recording mostly for myself, but also learning how to use my equipment I have here a little bit better. And hopefully in the future, more useful things. And hopefully maybe this was useful in some way. Well, have fun. Try it out. Again, that's PS-Autolab by Jason Helmick on GitHub. Thanks again.